Grant Wilcox, and I started the orchestra program in Brainerd in 1980, which was 32 years ago. At that time I was living in St. Cloud and I was teaching there. There was a need for lessons in Brainerd, and there were some people that were driving down to take lessons from me.
Like, how old were you, or did you always know that music was going to be a part of your life, or orchestra?
Music was always going to be a part of my life. I wanted to play instruments when I was very young, and my parents didn't really get it at first. And my dad had a little workshop, and I would go down and attempt to make instruments in this little workshop. When I was a young kid, my dad said, "Grant, that's great. Keep doing that." And it would have been neater if he would have said, "Well, let's go get you an instrument."
Where did you grow up? Was it close to Brainerd?
Nope. I grew up in southwestern Minnesota. I did my advanced violin study in Minneapolis, studying with some of the people in the symphony and in the Chamber Orchestra.
How many students did you have when you first started?
The very first year when I was driving up, I probably only had a dozen students. By the time we were starting to have the program go into the schools, I was having 60 to 75 students. In the fall of 1990, when the oldest kids would have been coming to 10th grade, it was a tough year for the school district, and it was deficit spending. And I went around the community and was asking the young professionals to help, and we raised enough money to fund the first year of the high school orchestra. And so we met first hour every day down in the home ec room, which was unused at the time, or that hour anyway, and we had orchestra for that whole year during that hour. And then the very next year, the school district started a part-time position. So that would have been in the fall of 1991. It was interesting that there was a lot of adults, especially in the early days of building this program. There was, at one time I had, I think, 6 or 7 doctors that came in and took lessons during the day when I was available during the day. Cragen was probably the most, well, John Lure's own Bridge of Harmony Music Store, those two people were the most, they were kind of the cornerstone of the foundation of starting this program. John Lure's, of course, had to get instruments for a program that didn't exist before, and then Dutch Cragen would donate money to help kids start. He had a program for a while that was, or for 1 year, he funded anybody at Lowell School that wanted to start a string instrument. He paid for the lessons. Jim Hunt and I, he was a principal here at the high school, and he said, "Well, Grant, what do you see this becoming?" And I said, "I see it becoming very big if we keep working at it." And he said, "Well, do you see a class of 30 or so?" I said, "No, I see classes bigger than that."
I mean, how much has this meant to you, to see how the program is built and you helped do that? And
well, it's what I've done for 32 years, and it's all I've done for 32 years. Yeah, it's great. It's fun to look back and think about some of the students that have started and what they're doing now, and how far some of the students have gone. I think the reason that I do it is because of the need that the student has and that their wish to play that music. And so I'd like to say it's the music that brings us together.
What was the reaction when people found out that you were retiring from some of your students and the parents?
The parents and the kids are great. It's like, it was really, but then they also was, we understand. So.
Yeah. What made you decide to retire?
It's time. It's time. Plus, I started playing music for myself, and I've been, as a performing musician, starting early, I've been performing music for other people for 44 years, and that was part of the reason I started, but playing music for yourself is
What would you say your greatest accomplishment has been over the 32 years?
to keep keeping on.